October 11th, 2017. Heathrow Airport, London. A man stands in the departure lounge. He is 57 years old. He doesn't look like an action hero. He wears a crumpled linen jacket. He has floppy hair and a gentle, posh British accent. He looks like a university professor on his way to a conference. But in his backpack, there is no laptop, no satellite phone, no GPS. He pulls out his smartphone. He opens Twitter. He types a message that will soon haunt the world. Marching off to Heathrow? I may be some time. Don't try to rescue me, please. Where I'm going in PNG, you won't ever find me, you know? He hits send. He turns off the phone. He leaves it behind. This man is Benedict Allen. He is one of the world's most famous explorers. The man who ate his own dog to survive the Amazon. The man who underwent a brutal initiation ceremony to become a crocodile man in the Sepik. He is a legend. But legends get old. Legends get tired. And legends sometimes make mistakes. Benedict Allen is walking away from his wife and 3 children. He is walking toward Papua New Guinea. He is going alone. He believes he is going on a nostalgic trip to see old friends. He doesn't know that he is walking into a trap set by the jungle, the weather, and his own hubris. To understand why a 57-year-old father would walk into the jungle without a phone, you have to understand Benedict's religion. His religion is immersion. Benedict hates modern exploration. He hates the flags and footprints style. He hates the guys who drag sleds to the North Pole with a support team and a film crew. That's not exploring, he says. That's logistics. Benedict believes that to truly understand a place, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be naked. If you take a GPS, you are looking at a screen, not the landscape. If you take a satellite phone, you have a safety net. And if you have a safety net, you never truly join the tribe. You have to let go of the handrail, he tells his students. It is a romantic philosophy, a beautiful philosophy, but it is a dangerous one. The jungle doesn't care about your philosophy. If you break your leg in the central range of PNG without a phone, you don't get a medal for purity. You die. Benedict knows this, but he thinks he is immune. He has survived everything. Malaria, hitmen, starvation. He thinks he is the master of the wild, but the wild has been waiting for him to get complacent. Where is he going? He is going to the central range of Papua New Guinea, a spine of jagged limestone mountains covered in moss forest, shrouded in perpetual cloud. It is one of the least accessible places on Earth. He is looking for the Yaifo people. 30 years ago, when he was a young man in his 20s, Benedict made first contact with the Yaifo. They were a reclusive tribe, isolated, fierce. They greeted him with bows and arrows. They danced for him with feathers in their hair and bones in their noses. They accepted him. For Benedict, that trip was the golden age of his life. He remembers the mist. He remembers the drums. He remembers the feeling of being the only outsider on the planet. Now, 30 years later, he is haunted by them. Are they still there? He wonders. Have they been ruined by loggers? By gold miners? Do they remember me? He wants to go back, not to discover them, but to reconnect. He sees it as a family reunion. He wants to see if the last people are still free. London. The night before the trip, Benedict is packing. His house is chaotic, kids running around. Beatrice, 10, Nelson, 7, and Freddie, 2. His wife Lenka watches him. She is used to this. She married an explorer. She knew the deal. But this time feels different. He is older. He isn't as fit as he used to be, and he refuses to take the tracker. Just take it, Ben, friends tell him. Put it in the bottom of the bag. You don't have to use it. No, Benedict says. If I take it, I will know it's there. It ruins the magic. He kisses his children goodbye. He looks at Freddie, the toddler. "I'll be back for Christmas," he promises. It is a classic promise. The promise every explorer makes. Scott of the Antarctic made it. Mallory made it. Benedict walks out the door. He feels a pang of guilt. The explorer and the father are at war inside him. The explorer wins. He gets in the taxi. He lands in Port Moresby, the capital of PNG. It is a shock to the system. Moresby is not a jungle paradise. It is a city of razor wire, beetle nut spit, and humidity. It is consistently ranked one of the most dangerous cities in the world. Rascals, gangs, rule the streets at night. Benedict navigates it with ease. He speaks Tok Pisin, pidgin English. "Good day, one talk," he says to the taxi driver. He loves the chaos. He buys his supplies in the local market. He doesn't buy high-tech freeze-dried meals. He buys rice, tinned fish, biscuits. He packs light, no tent, just a hammock and a tarp, no heavy boots, just simple jungle shoes. He wants to travel like a local. He meets with his contacts. They look at his map. "The Yaifo," they say? "Nobody goes there, boss. The Hua people live near there, but the Yaifo? They are ghosts. The bridges are down. The tribal fighting is bad." Benedict smiles. This is exactly what he wanted to hear. If it was easy, tourists would be there. The danger confirms that the magic is still safe. To get to the start of the trek, he needs a plane. He charters a small Cessna. The pilot is a missionary flyer, one of those guys who can land a plane on a postage stamp. They take off. They leave the coast behind. They fly inland. Below them, the world turns green. Endless, unbroken canopy. Rivers snaking through the trees like brown pythons. Benedict looks out the window. He feels the old excitement returning, the adrenaline. This is his office. The pilot shouts over the engine roar. "Where are you heading after I drop you?" "Over that ridge," Benedict points, "into the hidden valley." The pilot shakes his head. "There's nothing out there, mate. Just wet rocks and malaria." "Perfect," Benedict says. The destination is Besorio, an old abandoned mission station on the edge of the wilderness. It is the last dot on the map. The plane circles. Benedict sees a grass strip cut into the jungle. It looks short, too short. The plane dives. The wheels bounce on the rough grass. They skid to a halt. The engine cuts. Silence. The jungle noise rushes in. The screaming of cicadas. The call of birds of paradise. Benedict throws his bag onto the grass. A few locals come out of the bush. They are the Hua people. They look at the white man. They recognize him? No. But they recognize the type. The pilot doesn't stay long. He wants to get back before the afternoon rains. "Good luck, Ben," the pilot says. "When do you want to pick up?" "I don't," Benedict says. "I'm walking out." "Walking out? To where?" "To Porgera, the gold mine." The pilot looks at the mountains. That is 100 miles away. Through hell. "Okay," the pilot says. "See you on the other side." The plane takes off. It buzzes the airstrip once, then disappears over the trees. Benedict stands on the grass. The sound of the engine fades. Now he is truly alone. No phone, no GPS, no way to call the plane back. He takes a deep breath of the damp, rotting air. "I'm back," he whispers. He spends the first night in the abandoned mission hut. He talks to the Hua villagers. He hires a few porters to help him with the first leg. They are reluctant. "Yaifo place is bad place," they say. "Spirits live there." But Benedict charms them. He jokes. He shares his tobacco. They agree to take him to the river. The next morning, they march. The jungle of PNG is not like the Amazon. The Amazon is flat. PNG is vertical. You're either climbing a mud wall or sliding down a mud chute. It is the shattered earth, limestone karst, sharp rocks hidden under moss. If you step wrong, you snap your ankle. Benedict feels the burn in his legs. He is 57. His knees remind him of every expedition he has ever done. But his spirit is high. They reach the river. It is swollen with rain. There is no bridge, just a vine cable stretched across the raging water. Benedict looks at the water. It is brown, churning, violent. He looks at the vine. He has to pull himself across, dangling over the death water. This is the gate. On the other side is the Yaifo territory. He grabs the vine. He swings out. He commits. The jungle of the Central Range is a fortress. Benedict Allen pushes through the undergrowth. He is soaked. Every step is a battle against vines that grab his ankles like snare wires. But his heart is racing. He recognizes landmarks, a specific ridge, a waterfall. 30 years ago, he walked this path as a young man. Now, he is walking it as a ghost returning from the dead. He sees smoke rising through the canopy, thatch roofs, the Yaifo village. He stops. He remembers the first time. They greeted him with arrows drawn. He steps into the clearing. "Woo!" he calls out. The universal greeting of the forest. Silence. Then, movement. Men emerge from the huts. They are small, muscular, their skin dark as the shadows. They carry bows made of black palm wood. They stare at the white man. Benedict raises his hands. "It's me," he says in broken pidgin. "The white man who came before." The older men squint. They talk amongst themselves. Then, recognition flickers. "Benedict," one whispers. It is a surreal moment. In a place where time stands still, they remember the tall white stranger from a generation ago. The tension breaks. They rush forward. They touch his arms. They smell him. He is real. For a few days, it is paradise. Benedict lives in the village. It is exactly as he remembered. No electricity, no plastic, no noise from the outside world. He sleeps in the men's longhouse. He eats roasted taro and sweet potato. He talks to the elders. They tell him stories of the last 30 years. The world is eating the edges, they say. The gold miners are coming closer. The loggers are coming closer. But here, we are still Yaifo. Benedict feels a profound sense of validation. His philosophy was right. By coming alone, without a camera crew, without a phone, he is not an observer. He is a guest. He is part of the rhythm. He feels young again. The pain in his knees disappears. The worry about his mortgage in London fades. He is the white Yaifo. To honor his return, they hold a dance. Night falls. The drums begin. Thump, thump, thump. The men paint themselves with clay, white clay and ochre. They put on their headdresses, bird of paradise feathers, cassowary quills. They look like skeletons dancing in the firelight. Benedict joins them. He doesn't film it. He lives it. The smoke stings his eyes. The chanting vibrates in his chest. He looks around at the circle of faces. He thinks, this is it. This is the last pure place on earth. He feels invincible. He thinks he can stay here forever. But he made a promise to his children. Home for Christmas. After a week, he knows he has to go. He has to walk out. But the walk out is not the same as the walk in. The walk in was fueled by adrenaline. The walk out is fueled by reality. He packs his bag. He says goodbye to the Yaifo. I will come back, he lies. Explorers always say they will come back, but they rarely do. He hires a few local guides to help him reach the nearest roadhead, Porgera. It is a brutal trek, maybe 10 days. They set off, but something is wrong. The atmosphere has changed. The sky is a bruised purple. The air is heavy, saturated with moisture. The wet season in PNG is not a date on a calendar. It is a mood, and the mood is turning violent. Benedict feels a twinge in his body, a headache, a shiver. He ignores it. Just dehydration, he tells himself. He pushes on. They climb a ridge, 3,000 meters high. The air is thin. And then, the trap snaps shut. It starts with a drop, then a roar. The sky opens. This isn't English rain. This is a tropical deluge. Water falls so hard it hurts the skin. The trail, which was already mud, turns into a river. The clay becomes ice. Benedict slips. He falls. He gets up. He falls again. He is covered in mud. His guides are struggling. They are barefoot. They are tough. But even they are cold. They reach a river crossing. The river, which was crossable yesterday, is now a raging torrent of brown death. Trees are being swept downstream. "We cannot cross," the guides shout over the thunder. "We have to wait." They huddle under a tarp. They wait for the rain to stop. It doesn't stop. It rains for 24 hours, then 48 hours. Benedict sits in his hammock, soaked to the bone. He checks his bag. His food is running low. The rice is wet. The biscuits are moldy. And without a satellite phone, he can't check the forecast. He doesn't know if this is a storm or a monsoon. Day 3 of the storm. Benedict wakes up. He tries to stand. The world spins. He falls back into the hammock. His teeth are chattering. It is the old enemy. Malaria. Or maybe dengue. Or maybe just exhaustion. It doesn't matter what the name is. The effect is the same. His temperature spikes. 102. 103. He is hallucinating. He sees his children in the jungle. He sees the Yifo dancing in the rain. He reaches for his medicine bag. He takes his anti-malarials. But pills take time. And he doesn't have time. The guides look at him. They see a sick old man. They are getting worried. "Boss," they say, "we have to go back." "We cannot go forward. The road is blocked." Benedict refuses. "No, we go to Porgera." He is stubborn. He is driven by the summit fever of the explorer. He pushes them. They walk for another hour. Then chaos. They are attacked. Not by men, but by nature. A massive electrical storm hits the ridge. Lightning strikes the trees around them. Crack, boom. It is terrifying. The guides drop their loads. "This is bad magic," they scream. They run. They scatter into the bush to find shelter. Benedict is left alone on the trail, in the rain, in the mud, with a fever. He stumbles forward. He remembers an old, abandoned mission station nearby. Coda. It's not much. A few rotting huts. An overgrown airstrip. He crawls toward it. He finds a hut. The roof is leaking. The floor is dirt. He collapses inside. He is miles from anywhere. He has no phone to call a helicopter. He has no GPS to tell anyone where he is. He lies on the dirt floor. He listens to the rain hammering on the roof. It sounds like nails being driven into a coffin. He realizes, with a cold clarity that cuts through the fever, that he has made a catastrophic mistake. "I am not 25 anymore," he thinks. "I am a father of 3. And I am going to die in a hut in Papua New Guinea." He reaches into his waterproof bag. He pulls out his camera. It is the only piece of technology he has. He turns it on. He flips the screen so he can see himself. He looks terrible. His eyes are sunken. His skin is gray. He presses record. "I'm in quite a bad way, really," he whispers. "I've had this fever. The rain is just incessant. I've lost the guides. I'm on my own." He pauses. He holds back tears. "I don't know what time it is. I don't know what day it is. Please, don't come looking for me. But if you do..." He stops. He realizes the irony. He tweeted, "Don't try to rescue me." Now he would give anything, his house, his reputation, his pride, for a rescue. But nobody knows he is in trouble. As far as the world knows, he is just being some time. He turns off the camera. He curls up in the corner of the hut. He waits for the fever to kill him, or the cold, or the locals, who are now fighting a tribal war just over the hill. Day 5 at the abandoned mission. Benedict is still alive, but only just. The rain has stopped, but a new threat has arrived. He is lying in the hut, shivering under his tarp. He hears a sound, not thunder, not rain. Crack, crack, gunshots. He drags himself to the door. He looks out across the valley. He sees smoke rising from a village on the opposite ridge. He realizes why his guides were so terrified. It wasn't just the storm, it was the Payela and Huli tribes. The central range of Papua New Guinea is not just a nature reserve, it is a conflict zone. Tribal warfare here is brutal. It is fought with bows, arrows, and homemade shotguns. It is fought over pigs, women, and land. Benedict is trapped in no man's land. The road to Porgera, his exit route, is the front line of a war. If he tries to walk out now, he won't just be fighting the mud. He will be walking into a crossfire. He retreats into the hut. He feels like a rat in a cage. I am the great explorer, he thinks bitterly, and I am hiding in a shed while the world burns around me. He checks his food bag, a handful of rice, 2 tins of tuna. That is all that stands between him and starvation. Night falls. The malaria surges. Benedict's temperature hits 104 degrees. His brain starts to cook. He enters the fever dream. He is no longer in the hut. He is back in the Amazon 30 years ago. He sees the dog he had to eat to survive when he walked out of the jungle in 1982. The dog is looking at him. "Was it worth it, Ben?" the ghost dog asks. "You ate me to live, and now you're going to die here for nothing." Then he sees his children, Beatrice, Nelson, Freddie. They are standing in the rain, waiting for him. "You promised," they say. "Home for Christmas." Benedict screams in his sleep. He wakes up thrashing. He is soaked in sweat. He is alone in the dark. He realizes that his philosophy of immersion, of going without a phone, was not bravery. It was selfishness. It was a vanity project. He wanted to prove he was still the young god of exploration. But the jungle has stripped him naked. He grabs his camera. He records another clip. "I've taken the malaria pills, but I feel very weak. I just want to see my family." The arrogance is gone. There is only a frightened man who wants his wife. November 2017, London. While Benedict is shivering in the mud, the clock is ticking in the UK. His wife, Lenka, is looking at the calendar. He was supposed to be back by now. Or at least, he was supposed to have reached a town with a phone. She calls his agent. "Have you heard from Ben?" "No, he's late." They wait another day, then another. The silence from Papua New Guinea is deafening. Lenka makes the call. She contacts the Foreign Office. She contacts the media. The headline breaks, "Explorer Benedict Allen missing in PNG." It goes global. CNN, BBC, the Daily Mail. The world is fascinated. The last explorer is lost. Is this a stunt, some ask? Is he doing it for publicity? Lenka goes on TV. She is holding back tears. "He doesn't have a phone," she explains. "He wanted to do it the old way. Please find him." The irony is cruel. Benedict wanted to escape the modern world. Now, the entire modern world is looking for him. Satellites are being retasked. Helicopters are being prepped. But they have a problem. They know he is in the Central Range, but the Central Range is vast. It is a needle in a haystack of green mountains. And without a tracker, they don't know which haystack to look in. Back in the hut, Benedict knows he is dying. He knows he cannot walk to Porgera. His legs are too weak. The war is too close. He needs to send a message. But how? He sees a shadow at the door. It is one of the locals, a Hua man who stayed behind when the others fled. Or perhaps he came back. He looks at the sick white man. Benedict crawls over to him. He doesn't have money to pay him. He has his reputation. "You," Benedict gasps. "You run. You run to the station. You find a radio. Tell them the white man is dying." He scribbles a note on a piece of paper. It is a desperate scrawl. "Benedict Allen, injured, malaria, send help." He gives it to the runner. "Go," he says. "Go fast." The man takes the paper. He looks at it. He doesn't read English, but he understands the urgency. He nods. He turns and sprints into the jungle. Benedict watches him go. It is the most low-tech distress signal possible. A piece of paper carried by a barefoot man through a war zone. It feels like something from the 19th century. Benedict collapses back onto the dirt. Now, the waiting begins. Day 7. The runner has been gone for 2 days. Did he make it? Did he get killed by the huli? Did he just throw the note away? Benedict is drifting in and out of consciousness. He hears a noise, a drone, not a mosquito, a machine. He stumbles out of the hut. He looks up. High above, through a gap in the clouds, he sees a silver speck, a plane. It is flying high. A commercial jet? A cargo plane? Benedict waves his arms. He screams, "Down here! Look down!" He grabs a white shirt. He waves it. But the plane keeps going. It is 30,000 feet up. To the pilot, the jungle is just a green carpet. The sound fades. The silence returns. This is the lowest moment. The realization of how small he is. He is a microscopic speck on a massive island. He sits in the mud and cries, not from pain, but from loneliness. He starts to accept the end. He thinks about where they will find his body. At least it's a good view, he thinks. But the runner did make it, or at least word got out. The tribal grapevine is faster than the internet. News reached the nearest outpost. The white man is sick at the old airstrip. In London, the Daily Mail newspaper has hired a team. They are not waiting for the official search and rescue. They hired a private helicopter pilot in PNG, a man named Craig DeWitt, a bush pilot legend. He knows the terrain. He gets the coordinates of the old mission. "I know that place," Craig says. "It's a hellhole. The weather is always bad. I'll try to get in." It is a race. Benedict doesn't know they are coming. He is lying in the hut, conserving his last breath. Suddenly, the sound returns. But it is different this time. Louder. Thwack, thwack, thwack. The sound of rotor blades cutting the heavy air. It is the most beautiful sound in the world. Benedict crawls to the door. The wind from the rotors hits the trees. Leaves fly everywhere. A helicopter bursts over the ridge. It circles. It sees the hut. It sees the white figure in the doorway. Benedict stands up. He holds on to the door frame. He looks at the machine. He knows he has failed as an explorer. He has failed to walk out. But as a father, he has succeeded. He is going home. November 17th, 2017, the abandoned mission. The helicopter is a blue squirrel. It hovers over the clearing like a giant, noisy dragonfly. Craig DeWitt, the pilot, looks down. The airstrip is a mess. It hasn't been cut in years. The grass is waist-high. There are hidden logs, ant hills, and soft mud that could swallow a skid. Landing here is not safe. If the rotor hits a tree, or if the skid sinks, the helicopter crashes, and if they crash here, there is no backup. Craig sees Benedict, a gaunt, bearded figure waving a shirt. Craig makes a decision. "I'm going in." He drops the collective. The helicopter descends. The rotor wash flattens the grass. Debris flies everywhere. The skids touch the mud. The machine wobbles. Benedict runs. He doesn't grab his heavy pack. He leaves the food. He leaves the hammock. He grabs only his camera and his journals. He ducks under the rotors. He climbs into the back seat. He falls onto the upholstery. He smells aviation fuel and leather. It is the smell of the 21st century. He looks at the pilot. Craig gives him a thumbs up. "You okay, mate?" Benedict nods. He can't speak. He is overwhelmed by the noise and the sheer relief. The engine roars. The helicopter lifts. They rise above the trees. Benedict looks down. He sees the hut where he thought he would die. He sees the jungle that tried to keep him. It shrinks. It becomes a green carpet again. The trap has released him. But this is not a normal rescue. Usually, a rescue is a quiet affair, a medical evac. This is a media event. The helicopter wasn't sent by the Red Cross. It was funded by a British newspaper. There is a camera pointed at Benedict. The pilot takes photos. Benedict Allen, the man who wanted to escape the modern world, is now the star of an exclusive scoop. He is exhausted, feverish, and disoriented. And now he has to perform. He smiles weakly for the camera. He doesn't realize yet how this will look to the world. To him, it is salvation. To the cynics back in London, it looks like a publicity stunt. Look at the lost explorer, found just in time for the Sunday edition. It is the ultimate irony. His quest for purity has ended in a tabloid headline. But Benedict doesn't care about headlines right now. He cares about the fact that he isn't shaking anymore. Or rather, he is shaking, but it's from the vibration of the engine, not the malaria. The flight to Mount Hagen takes about 40 minutes. 40 minutes to cover the distance that would have taken him 3 weeks to walk. Benedict looks out the window. He sees the ridges he struggled to climb. He sees the rivers that blocked his path. He feels a strange mix of emotions. Relief? Yes. Gratitude? Yes. But also, failure. He is an explorer. His job is to cross the empty spaces. By getting in the helicopter, he has admitted defeat. He has used the handrail. He remembers his own words to his students. If you take a phone, you never truly leave. Well, he didn't take a phone, but the phone came for him anyway. The modern world is inescapable. You can hide in the deepest jungle, but if you're famous enough, the satellites will find you. He closes his eyes. He leans his head against the cool glass. "I am alive," he tells himself. "That has to be enough." They land at the airport in Mount Hagen. The door opens. Benedict steps out. He is wobbly. He is greeted by a small crowd. Airport staff, locals, and the media team. Someone hands him a bottle of water. Someone hands him a phone. "Call your wife." Benedict holds the smartphone. His fingers are dirty and swollen. The screen looks impossibly bright. He dials the number. "Lenka? Ben?" She bursts into tears. "I'm okay," he says. "I'm safe." "You idiot," she says, with love. "You promised you wouldn't do this." "I know. I'm sorry. Are you coming home?" "Yes, I'm coming home." He hangs up. He is led to a car. He looks at his reflection in the window. He sees an old man, a survivor. He realizes he has aged 10 years in 3 weeks. They take him to a clinic. The doctors run tests. It isn't just exhaustion. It is malaria and dengue fever. A double hit. The doctors are grave. "Mr. Allen, if you had stayed in that hut another 2 days, your kidneys would have failed. You were not fighting it off. You were dying." Benedict listens. He realizes how close the margin was. He thinks about the runner, the man with the note. If that man hadn't run, if the Daily Mail hadn't paid the pilot, Benedict would be a skeleton in a hut, waiting for the Yaifo to find him. He shivers. He asks for a blanket. He sleeps for 18 hours. While Benedict sleeps, the internet wakes up. The story explodes. Real-life Indiana Jones rescued. But the backlash begins immediately. Twitter is cruel. Why did he go without a phone? Irresponsible. He put the rescuers at risk. He has 3 kids. What was he thinking? Benedict wakes up to a world that is judging him. He is used to being the hero, the golden boy of exploration. Now he is being painted as a reckless eccentric. He reads the comments. They hurt more than the malaria. They don't understand, he thinks. They don't understand the spiritual need to disconnect. But deep down, a voice whispers, maybe they are right. Maybe the age of the Victorian explorer is over. Maybe you can't be a father and a ghost at the same time. He is cleared to fly home. He goes to Port Moresby International Airport. He walks through the same terminal he walked through 3 weeks ago. Then he was confident. He was marching off. Now he is limping back. He sees other travelers looking at their phones, checking Instagram. He feels a disconnect. He has seen the YIFO dancing in the firelight. He has seen the raw, bleeding edge of the world. These people in the airport, they are living in a bubble. But Benedict realizes he needs the bubble now. He buys a ticket. He boards the plane to London. He sits in a comfortable seat. The stewardess brings him a warm towel. "Can I get you anything, sir?" "Just water," Benedict says, "and maybe a gin and tonic." He takes a sip. The ice clinks in the glass. It is the sound of civilization. He looks out the window as Papua New Guinea disappears beneath the clouds. "Goodbye," he whispers. "I won't be back." November 2017. Heathrow Airport, Terminal 4. The automatic doors slide open. Benedict Allen walks out into the arrival hall. A month ago, he stood here and tweeted his famous "Don't Rescue Me" message. Now, he is walking back through the looking glass. He is wearing the same clothes he wore in the jungle. They are stained with Papua New Guinea mud. He hasn't shaved. He looks wild. A wall of noise hits him. Click, click, flash. The paparazzi are waiting. "Benedict, over here." "Ben, was it a stunt?" "Ben, look at the camera." He blinks. The flashbulbs hurt his eyes. He pushes his trolley. He looks small, vulnerable. Then he sees them. Lenka, Beatrice, Nelson, Freddie, his tribe. They run to him. There is no stiff upper lip here. There is just relief. He drops to his knees to hug his children. He smells their shampoo. It smells of civilization. He holds Lenka. "I'm sorry," he whispers into her hair. "I'm back." He looks up at the photographers. For the first time in his life, he hates the attention. He just wants to go home. They drive back to their home in Prague, where the family was staying, and then London. Benedict walks through his front door. It is a strange sensation. The house is exactly the same. The books on the shelves, the toys on the floor. But he has changed. He looks at the tap in the kitchen. Clean, drinkable water flows out instantly. He stares at it. In the jungle, water was death. Here, it is infinite. He sits on his sofa. He feels like an imposter. He is the white YIFO. He is the man who ate a dog. But he is also the dad who needs to do the school run. The two identities are crashing into each other. He tries to be normal. He reads stories to Freddie. But while he is reading about Peppa Pig, his mind is back in the hut. He hears the rain. He hears the gunshots of the tribal war. PTSD isn't just for soldiers. It is for anyone who has stared into the void and blinked. You can leave the jungle, but the jungle doesn't leave you. A few days after returning, Benedict collapses. The malaria is not done with him. He is in a warm, comfortable bed in Europe, but he is freezing. He shakes so hard the bed frame rattles. The fever dreams return. This time, they are mixed with the guilt of the media storm. He dreams that the paparazzi are the YIFO, shooting arrows at him. He dreams that his phone is ringing, but he can't answer it. Lenka nurses him. She is angry, but she is kind. She sees the toll it has taken. He has lost 20 pounds. His eyes are hollow. He looks like a man who has been eaten from the inside out. This is the unglamorous side of exploration. It isn't just flags and mountains. It is shivering in your pajamas while your wife changes your sheets. It is the physical cost of immersion. When the fever breaks, the interviews begin. He goes on morning television. Good Morning Britain. The presenters are polite but sharp. Benedict, you have 3 young children. Why did you go without a phone? Isn't that selfish? Benedict sits there in his suit. He looks tired. He doesn't fight back. He doesn't make excuses. Yes, he says, it was selfish. I have to admit that the age of being the lone explorer, maybe that is over for me. I can't put my family through that again. It is a public confession. He explains his philosophy, that technology cuts you off from the experience. If I had a phone, I wouldn't have been with the IFO. I would have been in London mentally. Some people understand, most don't. The world has moved on. We live in an age of constant connectivity. To voluntarily disconnect is seen as madness. Benedict realizes he is a dinosaur, a Victorian relic in a digital world, and dinosaurs eventually go extinct. He looks at the footage he brought back, the clips on his camera, the shaky video in the hut, the blurry shots of the IFO. It isn't a polished documentary, it is a horror movie. It shows a man deteriorating. He watches himself say, "Don't come looking for me." He winces. He sees the hubris. He realizes that the Benedict Allen who walked into the jungle was arrogant. The Benedict Allen who flew out is humble. He decides to show the footage. He won't edit it to make himself look like a hero. He will show the fear, the weakness. Because that is the truth of exploration. It isn't about conquering the mountain. It is about the mountain conquering you, and you surviving to tell the tale. December 2017, Christmas Day. He kept his promise. He is home. The house is full of wrapping paper and turkey smells. Benedict sits at the table. He looks at his children. Freddie is playing with a toy helicopter. Benedict smiles a sad smile. He realizes that his greatest adventure is not the Amazon or the Gobi Desert or Papua New Guinea. His greatest adventure is sitting at this table. He holds his glass of wine. He makes a silent toast. To the runner who carried the note. To the pilot who flew through the storm. To the YIFO who remembered him. And to the luck that seems to follow him, even when he pushes it too far. He takes a sip. He is alive. And for the first time in his life, being lost doesn't sound appealing at all. He is exactly where he is supposed to be. Most survival stories end with the helicopter ride. The hero gets saved, learns a lesson, and retires to a quiet life of gardening. But Benedict Allen is not a normal hero. And this is not a movie. In the months following his rescue, the physical wounds healed. The malaria left his blood. The media storm moved on to the next scandal. But the psychological wound remained open. He felt he had failed. Not just failed himself, but failed the YIFO. He had walked in as a friend, but he had flown out as a burden. He had left his guides in the mud. He had left the journey incomplete. The unfinished business gnawed at him. It kept him awake at night in his London home. He realized that you cannot simply walk away from a place like the Central Range. The jungle demands closure. So, in a move that terrified his wife and baffled his critics, he decided to go back. Less than a year later, but this time, he didn't go alone. He took Frank Gardner, the BBC security correspondent. Frank is paralyzed. He uses a wheelchair. It was a mission of redemption. Benedict, the man who needed rescuing, became the guide for a man who couldn't walk. They faced the mud again. They faced the rain. But they did it properly, with support, with comms. Benedict proved to the world and to himself that the jungle hadn't broken him. It had just humbled him. Benedict's story is more than just a tale of a bad camping trip. It is an elegy for the age of exploration. For thousands of years, the map had blank spaces. Here be dragons. Those blank spaces were where the human imagination lived. They were the places where you could go to reinvent yourself. But today, the blank spaces are gone. Satellites gaze down on every square inch of the planet. Google Earth allows you to zoom into the Yaifo village from your office in New York. We have traded mystery for certainty. We have traded getting lost for estimated arrival times. Benedict Allen fought against this. He threw away his phone because he wanted to live in the blank space one last time. He failed, yes, but his failure was beautiful. It was a protest against a world that demands we be trackable, clickable, and reachable 24/7. He reminded us that there is still wildness out there if you are brave enough or foolish enough to turn off the GPS. The central conflict of Benedict's life was never man versus nature. It was man versus time. Specifically, the explorer versus the father. The explorer needs to be selfish. He needs to risk his life. The father needs to be selfless. He needs to preserve his life. These two roles cannot coexist. In the hut shivering with malaria, the explorer died and the father was born. Benedict realized that the greatest discovery wasn't a new tribe. It was the realization that he was needed. He learned that being a hero to the world means nothing if you are a ghost to your children. He hung up his boots, at least the solo boots. He still travels, he still explores, but he takes a phone now. Not because he is afraid of the dark, but because he wants to hear the voices of the light. History will look back on Benedict Allen as a bridge. He is the link between the era of Shackleton and the era of the Instagram influencer. He is the last Victorian, a man who believed that suffering was part of the process, that you have to bleed a little to understand the earth. His methods were outdated. His hubris was dangerous. But his spirit was pure. In a sanitized world of safety rails and liability waivers, he dared to walk off the edge of the map. He dared to be vulnerable, and in his vulnerability, he found the truth. The jungle doesn't care if you are famous. It doesn't care if you have a BBC series. It only cares if you can keep walking. We spend our lives trying to be found. We want to be found by success, by love, by fame. We broadcast our location to the world every day. But Benedict Allen teaches us the value of being lost. To be lost is to be fully present. To be lost is to admit that you are not the master of the universe. He walked into the Central Range looking for the Yaifo. He didn't find the perfect reunion he dreamed of. He found rain. He found sickness. He found fear. But he also found himself. The man who tweeted, "Don't try to rescue me," was wrong. We all need rescuing sometimes. Sometimes by a helicopter. Sometimes by the realization that we are human. The map is full now. There are no more blank spaces on the paper. But there are still blank spaces in the human heart. And that is where the exploration continues. The jungle is waiting. But so is the way home.